Hi everybody, welcome to my channel for new battle report. UB battle report number 6. My Ogre can facing a Demon Legion army. That was the last test I managed to do before the UB tournament. And I was able to face another French-speaking YouTuber, Shizu, who is playing Demon Legion. So it was an interesting game for me because on round 1 from the tournament I was playing another Demon Legion, so that was quite interesting. That's why I asked him to play the same secondary objective and map to try a bit this matchup. He's playing, however, a different list from my opponent for the first game of the tournament. He's playing an Omen with toughness 6, Kulima Deceiver with Fly and Poison, 11 Succubi, 12 Imps, Lemurs, 2 Piece of Chaffs, Gremlins, 2 times the Brazen Beast with the Flaming Attack and the Ward Save against Flaming Attack, 8 Eidolons with the Aura, which makes the charge a bit more difficult because you have to deduct 2 inch from your charge range. With the scout option, so you can choose his position after deployment, and a Titan Slayer Chariot with Divan Stout as an option. We played Frontline Clash Capture the Flag on the map number 9. Master of Thaumaturgy, I decided to go with Child of Fumi, and of Even, the Breast Weapon, the Smite, and Wrath of God. My opponent chose. Surprisingly, he didn't take the Fate Judgment, which is really good against my list as well. But he decided to go for more combat buff with Distracting, Reroll to Hit, and then with the Kulima, Raven's Wing, so to gain a bit mobility, Reroll to Wound, and the Blast. And 3 times, of course, the Hereditary Spell, which is really good for the demon because you can really cast a lot of spell, and then you have really very effective spears at your disposal, which are good against Ogre with multiple wounds. For my general, it's not an easy game because there are 2 units with flaming attacks, so no regeneration, and there is the Omen who is much stronger than me. So my general has not an easy game, but I have other solution. For example, my BSB is really good to counter the Brazen Beast because I have the Ward Save 3+ from Basalt Infusion. Demon Legion has really good range damage, a lot of powerful magic, so I have really I would like to start and play aggressively in this matchup, because if not I will take a lot of casualties early in the game already. My Aurochs are one of my best options to counter the big block of Lemurs, and as well for the Omen, because it doesn't like to take a lot of combat result. I will try to zone a little bit the Omen to avoid him going forward. He's not so easy to handle for me, so I have to trade from a bit everywhere to make him move and choose position to block me, defensively speaking, and therefore avoiding him going forward. Okay, deployment, I was able to drop everything for first turn, so I put all my scoring more or less in the back, with the mage here in the middle, then the 2 Rock and BSB, the Piece of Chaff, the Giant on the right side, my 2 Kinito in ambush, and here I was able to put a very interesting position for my scout. I think that was a mistake from Shizu's part to allow me to be here on turn 1, because since I will start the game, it's already a very interesting position for me to come over this zone with the Hunter. And on the left side I used my trappers as always, put a trap on the hill, which is good because it's on the way for his Lemur to come to my zone. He has to go on the hill, so that's quite good. And then move forward with both the general and the cats. He was able, however, to counter my general position in the deployment with 2 Brazen Beasts, and yeah, it was difficult for my general to go the other side. I decided to stay here to protect my scoring unit. My thought process was, if I'm able to get a charge, also the Brazen Beasts are denying me to have regeneration. With a combat buff I might be able to kill them because they like to charge, they don't like to get in charge. So might be able to do something with my general on this side. Okay, let's move on to, deployment of my opponent. Of course, you have the big block of Lemur with the Omen of Savar. Here you have Succubi, Imps, Brazen, Chaff, Eidolon, Kulima, and the Chariot. Let's go turn 1 of the Ogres. Come forward with the Hunter, just checking where I can go with 7-inch, and yeah, I want to be sure that I can charge and kill him next turn. That would be something less on the field because he's still very good at zoning my big threats. I move out of arc with the Giant and forward as much as possible. Orok go forward to have good line of sight of each part of the hill. And the BSB move forward as well. Here I'm using the Trappers of Chaff, the ID not giving him any overrun because of the footprints, not able to charge my general, but I'm still quite close to him, so it's very interesting for me because I might be able to charge him next turn, and I stay a bit in the back with the Shaman because I have good range against the Eidolon. Let's move to magic. I'm able to cast, I had the Flux 8, I'm able to cast Wrath of God, and I do 666 on 4 dice, so 4 wounds on 4+, I get 3 wounds from this, still alive but not in a good position after turn 1. But you can argue that I'm getting used to play without my mage after turn 1. End of even against the Eidolon, of course Shizu dispels it. -1 to toughness with on the Eidolon. Thought process was I've casted a Wrath of God here, so might be able to wound him on 2+ if I'm able to get them within range. And with shooting I'm able to do 1 wound on the Kulima, so take advantage of the position of the Kulima in turn 1. Quite interesting turn 1 for me. Turn 1 of the Demon, he charges my Chaff with the Sirens. I was ready to countercharge with the dogs. That was a bit thought process. If he takes it with one of the 2 Brazen Beasts, should be able to get an interesting countercharge with these 2. But if he comes with Sirens, I want to get them with something expendable, so to say. He moves a bit, but still my Wrath of God is quite interesting for me. Moves forward with the Eidolon. His idea is to shoot heavily on my Rock and try to kill him, but I still have interesting charges with Giant, Rock, so if I survive, might be able to get a really interesting charge. However, the Hunter is a bit far away, but still is not able to move out of arc with the Chariot. He's trying to tempt me to charge with the Giant, but I will still be able to charge him in the back with the Hunter. In the magic, Binding Scroll, Unerring Strike, I really don't want him to do any wound for magic on this Rock because I would really like charging the Eidolon. And then End of Even on my BSB does nothing, and then is able to cast a big Raven's Wing with 4 dice and to move out of arc from my Rock. Okay, not so bad for me, because I dispelled the star line. I didn't want him to reroll both phases, so I prefer him going here, since I'm in an aggression scenario and I have a lot of threat, should be able to deal with this new movement, and in shooting is able to do only 1 wound on my Rock, so not so bad. In combat, he does only 2 wounds to me, I do none in return, and I stick on the 6 rerollable, which is not bad, and I will get a good countercharge from dogs. Might be able to save my Chaff, which is good. Turn 2 for the Ogres, getting this charge on, and here I'm setting the traps. So here, obvious charge from the Hunter on the back, and here I'm setting a bit of a trap for him. So here I tried a long charge with the Giant. We thought that was an 11, but actually that was a 13, impossible because of the Aura of Despair, but that was better for him because I failed the charge, so I didn't move very much. I'm able to get the Keen Eater on the board, so I decided to put it here in the back. The idea is I'm able to put 1 threat with the Orok, 2 threats with Tribesman, a threat with Keen Eater, a threat with Giant, so it should be quite difficult for him to go out of arc. I will just focus on dispelling the Raven's Wing, and I should be able to annoy him and maybe get this unit, so that would be great. Here I put the Tribesman behind. The idea is if he charges with the Brazen Beast, I should be able to just block the overrun here and then get 2 juicy counter charges, and I move forward with the BSB in order to tempt him to charge me, but I have really no fear of these 2 units. And Lemur are still a bit too far away, or he can't see me, I'm not sure, I think he can't see me. Okay, let's move on to magic. casting End of Even on the Eidolons. He dispels it, trying to cast Wrath of God, but I fail, and then I do a random Smite the Unbeliever, which fail. This Wrath of God comes down and makes 4 plus 2, so 6. I'm only able to do 3 wounds on the Brazen Beast and a couple of wounds on the Lemures. This close combat, I'm able to do 2 wounds, and I have a charge in the back, so -5, he dies, which is really good for me, because I took some points and I'm able to just pivot to threat now the back line. Here's, very surprisingly, he's able to do 4 wounds to my dog. I do only 1 in return. With 11 attacks on 4 plus 3 plus, it's a bit unexpected. He's able to kill my 3 trappers, so deal with the chaff, and I stick on steadfast roll, 9 rerollable. That's it for turn 2. Let's move on turn 2 from the demons. I failed the march check, move a bit forward, so that was an 8 without reroll, so quite hard. He was able to reform. Made a mistake. On last turn, if you see, with doing 4 wounds after the reform, I forgot to move this cat here, and he was able to get a line of sight with the Brazen Beast on the flank, which is a good way for him to clean the dogs, and then trying to overrun out of the table, but still I would have good counter charge against the flag, so I don't know if it's annoying or not for me, but anyway, he just failed the charge with 111, so thanks UB dices. No charges on the flanks, so should be able this time to kill them. He's coming out to chaff me with the Furies, and he, as I've said, he just failed the march check, so just moved a bit to try to shoot my shaman, who has only 1 wound left. So that's the idea. He's just out of arc of this tribesman, out of arc of the rock, but still I have 3 units within arc, so should be able to annoy him, especially with the Keen Eater. Magic. Let's see. He does first a Hand of Even on the mage unit, does nothing, then does an Erring Strike, maximize, does the 2 wound on the rock, and then he's trying to do Spectral Blade here, but does double 1. He tries, of course, Raven's Wing, but I dispel it. And then he tries again Hereditary Spell on this unit, but does double 1, so nothing. And then he tries again, I think, a Spear with this guy on the rock, but I'm able to dispel it. Shooting, he does 5 poison, kills the rock, so bad for me. I'm able to pass my leadership check, 9 rerollable, that's good. And combat, we do both 4 wounds, so I kill him, which is really interesting for me, because I'm able to do post-combat pivot. I hesitated a little bit to try to charge something to stick them in place, for example Furies, or I don't know. My decision was to charge the imps, as you will see right now, so decided to charge the imps, go for scoring since we're playing flag. Keen Eater goes in flank. I have a small base, so that was a mistake from Shizu. He saw I should maximize as well with the Kulima, but I'm only able to contact with 2 with my 40mm base, so that's good for me. I'm still out of the Kulima, and depending on the number on the wounds, I mean, I'm striking on 3 plus rerollable and then wounding on 2 plus the imps, plus a storm, plus charge, plus a flank. If I do a couple of wounds, I should be able to delete of the Eidolons, and maybe we'll get 1 or 2 wounds on the Kulima, so might be interesting. I put the Ogres in position. I tried a new charge with the Giant, but failed it. I failed the march check, 8 rerollable with the BSB. Wanted to come here, but I failed it, so I just come here to chaff this unit of Brazen Beast. I don't bother taking any charge from Brazen Beast, because I have 2 plus and then 3 plus ward save against fire attack. I just made sure that he was not able to connect in the front with the Omen charging him. That was very important for me. And then here I get double charge from General plus Tribesman, and then I just leave a good flea corridor, so to say, to rally them properly. So if he charge me, I will be able to flee and then counter charge in the back with the Keen Eater, which might do some good. And I also make sure that the Keen Eater has a line of sight on the middle of the imps if I need any kind of counter charges in the coming turn. Finally, my Hunter moves a bit in the back line of Shizu to make sure that the Omens stay within this unit. If he doesn't, I will just take the Sukubai and then maybe the Lemurs, so might be interesting for me. Magic, let's see. Tried the End of Even on the Brazen Beast, did nothing, then I'm able to put a Breath Weapon on my BSB with Strength 5, really interesting. And then I tried to put Children of Umi on the BSB, but it's dispelled by Shizu. Close combat, let's see. I'm able to do 2 wounds totally, and then he lost 4 with the combat results, so still 2 imps plus the Kulima, but this turn I will have to strike against the Kulima Deceiver. Here I clean it, the dogs do 2 wounds and get nothing in return, I guess. But he's steadfast, so he sticks, and that's it. Turn 3 from Demon. Here we're still in combat. Here it takes the flank charge with the Brazen Beast against my BSB. Should be fine, should be fine. He just reformed the Brazen, moves forward, out of arc of my major threats. Moves a bit the Lemurs. The idea will be to capitalize and take the charge on BSB on the coming turns. Here we're still in combat. Here he comes on the board with the Gremlins, try to threat a bit my backline, especially the Shaman plus the General, but I still feel confident I have enough space and units to move if needed with the Shaman. I made sure last turn to give him bad zone to come on the board, so I put the Tribesman unit to cover some angles that he will not be able to come here to threat my Shaman. That was the idea, to protect his back. Yes, Magic of the Demon. Let's see what I've written. So, he's able to cast Raven's Wing on the Brazen Beast. I don't bother, it comes on the hill, loses the last wound thanks to the Trappers, and has to model here on the hill out of arc of the Rock, but I still have Piece of Chaff, so no worries for me. I try to cast an Earring Strike on the Rock, I dispel it. Then I forgot that he had a reroll to it with Divine Attack, which might have helped immensely this combat. But fortunately for me, he forgot, he didn't cast it, so that was really good. I think if I have to do it again, I would just have let the small Unerring Strike and dispel the reroll to it and Divine, because that was, I guess, too dangerous for the BSB. Still Ward Save 3+, but I don't like the odds of rerolling Divine Attack. Let's move on to combat. Let's see here, I'm able to do 2 wounds on the Kulima, he does 1 in return, so really good from the Keen Eater, and is able to stick on a 7. Here, my BSB goes to town, did 5 wounds total with Breath Weapon, Strength 5, 4 attack, Strength 7, 4 attack, Strength 5, 5 wounds. He did nothing to me, so I win by a lot, but he's able to stick on the leadership, I guess 8 minus 4 on 4, with no reroll, is able to stick and stay in place, which is huge, because if not, I would have been able to pivot and then made really interesting charge. So yeah, that's good for him that he's able to stick me in place at least. Turn 4. So he was able to reform as well. I just slide a little bit with the Tribesman. I have to be careful because the Kulima gets a lot of attack from me, so if I charge in with Tribesman and I have to maximize with Kulima, he will get another 3 attacks more. I cannot afford him to get a lot of attacks and make a lot of combat results, so I really just stay with the Keen Eater. He has only 1 wound remaining, I should be able to deal with him, and if not, Tribesman will help. Giant moves forward. Here I need to stick him in place since my BSB is in combat. I'm able to get the charge. I think it was a 6 or 7 with the Hunter in the back. Should be able to stick him at least 1 turn, and then next turn we'll see. I will have an 11 overrun with the Keen Eater in the flank, so we'll see. Here still in combat. Here I come as Chaff with my General, having 2 good counter charges from Tribesmen, and here I'm just making a bit of a trap, putting the Chaff and then covering every possible overrun from the 2 Brazen Beasts with my Rock. So just trying to get these 2 flags on this turn. Magic. Let's see, putting again Breath Weapon, Strength 5 on BSB to make sure I'm able to deal with both of them. Trying to put hereditary spell on BSB, it gets no, sorry. Trying to, yeah, I was able to put Smite the Unbeliever -1 strength to help this combat. Then I tried to put hereditary spell, I guess again on the Keen Eater, but it was dispelled by Shizu. And then I failed the overrun on 11 against this unit. This combat I'm able to do 4 wounds. It did nothing to me, so that's good. He's able to succeed in the steadfast roll and reforms. Kulima, I kill him, so very good news. Very well fought from my Keen Eater. So just the Eidolon to kill, and next turn should be easy. And here I'm able to do 6 wounds. So again, great performance from the BSB with breath weapon strength 5 helps a lot. So helps a lot. Be able to kill him and just pivot, and I guess that's it. He's turn 4. I don't know why, but he decided to charge the chaff. I don't think he had very good possibilities to move out of arc, so decided to take the chaff. He as well takes the bait, charge with the gremlins, trying to be lucky. He reforms the Omens unit. Here we're still in combat. Magic. Try to put distracting in bubble. Cannot afford to take distracting and hit on 5+, so I have to dispel it with all my dice. Then he puts 1 wound with the big Unending Strike against my BSB. Puts another 2 wounds with hereditary spell on the BSB. Combat, I'm able to do 4 wounds, so quite lucky for the Hunter. And he's steadfast and sticks. The Gremlins, I do 2 to him, he did nothing to me. Here I'm able to kill the Eidolon. That's the picture at the end of this turn, and we decided to stop here because we already played quite a long time. But I mean, the game was over. I put some arrows to make kind of simulation what would have happened next turn, but I think it's quite obvious. 2 countercharge here. BSB goes to safe zone. Should be able to move around. Here I should be able to get charge from the Keen Eater in the back. It's possible that I kill him this turn because with a charge, a back, 4 attacks with hatred, and then wounding on 3+, plus 2 storms, plus 5 attacks from the Hunter, I should be able to deal with him. If it's the case, I should be able to overrun in the Omen with the Keen Eater and stick him in place, which would be great. And then I would just move the dogs here to block him a little bit on all kind of combat reform. If I'm not able to kill them, he should be able to charge and take possibly my Hunter. So yeah, cannot do a lot to avoid this. So I might maybe lose either Keen Eater and or the Hunter, but yeah, most likely I think I would lose only the Keen Eater, and then I would move away with the Hunter, and if needed I would use this cat as piece of chaff turn 6 if needed, and depending on what he does, I could as well do something interesting with the giant, and here just play safe and try to help a little bit the combat with the shaman, giving breath weapon to make sure I can kill all of them and then overrun, or giving -1 to wound or anything interesting. So yeah, that was it. I mean, there was no point continuing this game. Difficult to say the score, but more or less I would say 17-18 probably, most likely. What happened during this game? So Keen Eater coming on the board to help me for the Kulima situation was a huge help. This Keen Eater was really good in combat. I think, a bit lucky against the Kulima because he has better stat than me. But still, yeah, that was good. That was really good. I have 4 attack plus a stomp. He has 5 attacks. It's on 3+, and I do 4+4+. So yeah, it's a bit the same. I was happy about that. I managed to force the Omen to stay in his line. He had no interesting combat, so that was good for me. But he was able to avoid me going for the Succubi. But I mean, my Hunter in the back did his game. I was able to kill Titan Slayer Chariot and then to stick in place the Lemurs and probably take them. So that was really good for this Hunter. Not reforming the cat plus the star line on T3 should have me cost much more. I think regarding the cat situation, yes and no. The cats were able to take a scoring unit afterwards and they took the chaff, so yeah, that was still interesting. I just forgot to reform them properly. That was bad. And then star line that could have been really dangerous. So yeah, that was 2 mistakes during this game. I was able to react to the Eidolon. I'm not sure, I've said to Shizu after the game, I'm not sure that was really a good idea for him to go on my side with the Raven's Wings, since I have so much threats, so much possibilities to counter him with Skin Eaters, with a lot of things. I'm not sure it was a good idea to move so far away from his line. I think it would have been better to maybe react and move in the back with the Eidolon to shoot at my Hunter. That would have been maybe a better solution for him. And I feel that I protected my scoring unit pretty well during this game, so that helped me win the scenario. And generally speaking, I think I should take more time when I do post-combat pivot and reforms, because yeah, it was a bit stupid for the cat. That's always something that I think I should tattoo it sometimes in my hand, because I'm sometimes struggling with this. I'm taking not enough time to think a little bit about the possibilities and doing proper combat reform and looking the good way. And the Omen of Sava, I think it should have been better placed to capitalize on the way that, on the fact that my BSB was stuck in combat with the Brazen Beast. On turn 4, he could have been able to countercharge me and kill me with the Omen. That would have been somehow interesting for him and would have been a good possibility to take some points in this game. Okay, that's all. I hope you like it, guys, and see you soon on my channel. Bye.